Welcome back to Daytime. Christine Denty is with us to share her most valuable lessons for women on buying, owning, and selling a home from her new book called The Girlfriend's Guide to Real Estate. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, Denise.
Why did you choose to write a book for women?
There are books out there, but I found them quite archaic a little bit, and that's my opinion. But I found a lot of them to be, oh, I'm sorry you're single. Let's go buy a house. Mine is like, you are like powerful. Let's do this. You're fabulous, and that's sort of the approach that I take on the book. It's more, I would say, like a Sex and the City version of a real estate manual.
Because one of the things you say is that 20% of home buyers now are single women.
Yes, and it's actually growing, and it's more than single men, believe it or not.
Wow, that's something. And the rest would be couples, families, that sort of thing.
Yes.
And so what are some of the blocks or fears that sometimes women might have that you address in your book that will help them to get over that fear and make the commitment to buy a house rather than rent?
I think one of the fears, and again, I can't speak for everybody, but I can speak for myself doing it a few times, is that you feel like you need a man in the picture to make that big move, and you don't. And that's part of the reason why I wrote the book. It's like that kind of is your manual. Because you don't, right? I mean, there's nothing in there that you're going to lack as far as, you know, whether you're buying or even if you own a home and you're wondering how to maintain it, or as we're talking, bad neighbors, home maintenance guide, things like that, and when you're selling. So it's a manual for everything. And again, like I said, it's something you can set out to do it on your own. You don't need, your dad or, your ex-husband or your boyfriend. This is something that you can take on your own.
And it's pretty empowering and pretty exciting. And one of the things that I really liked, I flipped through this, is that you can go right to your issue because it pretty much covers everything. You can go right to your concern and in a couple of pages have an answer and a strategy.
Yes, and that's what I wanted for this book, because I could have pieced it into three different books, buying, owning, and selling, but I don't want someone to have to go back and try to find information. I wanted to have everything in this book that someone would need throughout their different transitions with home ownership.
So I was just thinking to myself that one of the instances that you might need to purchase your own home is if you're going through a divorce.
Yes.
And so part of what can help you in the financial aspect of that is renting out a basement.
Yes.
So you even address renting in this. Tell us about some advice that you would give when it comes to renting out a home or renting out space in your home.
Oh gosh, where do I even start? There's 3 pointers I put in there. For one is that the home is equitable. So right now with the market, rent is not necessarily cash king. So it's not like you're making so much cash every month that you're running to the bank saying, oh my God, I got all this cash, right? So you want to make sure that that particular home is going to grow in equity and you're not putting too much money into it. I've been actually steering a lot of people, as opposed to buying duplexes, Toronto condos, because you have one tenant, no roof, no lawn, right? The other things to address that are really important is that you have a AAA tenant. That there's a lot of sifting through that you have to do. And also the other thing is that you're not buying a home in a very highly saturated rental area, because then a lot of times you get career tenants and things like that. You want somewhere where someone is going to make use of the home. It's going to be close to what they need, but you're not in sort of maybe in an area where it's just full of rentals, and then that can cause some problems right there.
So we only have about 2 minutes left, and I want to know, what would be your number one if you were talking about this book? What your favorite chapter, your favorite piece of advice?
My favorite one actually is You Will Survive This, Maybe. With that one, it just addresses what I went through when I went through my second divorce. Yes, two divorces. So with that, just sort of the transition you're going through, and that everything will be okay, because when you first make that move and you move into your new place, you just feel like sort of barren, and you learn a lot about your friends and family, and if they're there, if they're not there, and really it's just showing that you take it one day at a time and it will get better. It's hard when you make that move, but it does get better.
and to dream, and that you can do it. How is the market right now for purchasing a home?
I think the most important thing for realtors is to set the expectation very well with their buyers and their sellers. That's the most important thing. The market is very, very, very aggressive. Buyers, they're going to make an offer on a property and there's only 10 other offers. So it's setting the expectation with our clients to make sure they know what they're getting themselves into and how aggressive it really is right now.
And that's why you need a great realtor. You're a great realtor and a great author. Thanks so much for being here today.
Denise.
Up next, we have cool gadgets for work, school, and play. Stay with us. That's such good advice.